Hello and welcome to Bethan's Kitchen and Garden. Today I'm going to be pottering around the garden and hopefully getting a lot of tidying up done. But my first job is to pot on some seedlings. So let me show you what seedlings I've got to pot on. Here are the seedlings I need to pot on. I need to put them into their individual pots. The Swedes, some of them have just had one grow per module, others have had none, and some have got two. So I just want to put the ones that have got two into the missing sections, and then we'll just hopefully end up with 12 Swedes. And then the rest of the seedlings are in desperate need of potting on. So there's all different kinds here. So I'll get on and pot them on, and I'll show you what I've got when I've potted them on. I have now potted on my brassica seedlings and the other seedlings. They're in the cold frame. The Swedes at the back are doing well. I haven't potted them on. I just separated ones that had two in a cell and put them in the ones that were missing some. And all the other seedlings seem to be okay. I potted them on a couple of days ago, so they've settled in now, and they're mostly standing upright at the moment. And yeah, they're looking happy. Probably could do with a bit more water now, I suppose. But I think they'll be all right. They seem quite happy in their new homes, so hopefully they can go into the ground very soon. I'm round the front garden at the moment, and the job I'm trying to get done, I'm going to put all my onions into my barrow so I can string them up later. And while this bit is still in the shade, I am hoping to just tidy up a bit, so where there's sort of dead leaves and sort of melons need tying in here or there. See what's going on with this cucumber plant. I started taking the onions from there which were drying. I also want to take more onions out of the ground today, and if they have hardened off, as in if they're looking brown like that, then I'll string them up straight away. Otherwise I'll put some more to dry somewhere for the time being. But I'm going to get on now with sorting through some of these melons and seeing if there's anything anywhere to report back to you. It's looking a lot tidier now. I can see what is going on. There's well, there doesn't really seem to be many melons forming on this side of the greenhouse, but over here at the back there are a couple forming, and at the moment typically there's 3 from one side shoot, as it were. So at the moment I'm just leaving them to see which one grows the best, and then I'll probably cut off the other 2. And similarly with this branch here, I've got 2 growing on there as well, but there doesn't seem to be much more growing. I've got those ones now so that I can keep an eye on them in the next couple of days, and if they start looking like there's a male and a female, I can take the male flower and pollinate the female flower. So it's all a bit more organized in here now, rather than sort of letting it all see to itself, as it were. And the watermelon down here, this doesn't look like it's coming too much. I think the roots are struggling a lot. It looked like I pushed the plant back down a bit, but it looked like it was just hanging on by one root really. So I'm not expecting any watermelon from in here, but everything's been given a good water now, and hopefully those ones over there will grow into a good old melon for us. Similarly the cucumber, there's one cucumber forming there. You always miss one bit of dead leaf, don't you? and then there's a little something still going on at the tip. So hopefully we'll get a good sized cucumber from there too. These onions need to come out now. These are the ones in the asparagus bed. And these onions in this bed need to come out as well. The onions up here are still quite green, so I'll leave them for a bit longer, see if we get any more growth from them. And similarly, the ones in the next bed up there, they've still got some green as well. I'm just going to leave these onions here in the shade for a bit while I get on with harvesting the French beans around the front. I'll come back to these a bit later on in the day, because that's something I can do in the shades, stringing them up. Whereas I want to try and get the beans done now while it's not too warm. One quick job I can get done is to take out the bolted lettuce that's here. I will keep most of this green one because it's looking good, but the rest of them here, they've just bolted too much, and I can give them to my chickens. So I'll take them out, and then we'll see what kind of space we've got here. There are some happy chickens tucking into their greens. They do like lettuce quite a bit actually, and Swiss chard, so that's always really good to give them. And this is what remains of the lettuce. I've got one there, a Marvel of 4 Seasons, which is hearted up. So I'll probably take that and keep it in my fridge. And then these I'll keep using as a cut and come again, which is how I'm using them. And then hopefully these will come into their own just as the new batch of lettuce is growing. But it won't be growing nicely if I don't get around to sowing it. So I better go and get on with sowing some lettuce, radish, and there's one other thing I need to sow. But anyway, I'll get on with doing them. So this is my second bunch of onions. I did a first bunch yesterday, and I started that bunch yesterday and then I ran out of time to do it. And this morning I've just spent time harvesting. So this is the harvest from the garden at the moment. I've got some Marmande tomatoes here, and then I've got a mixture of Rosilla, Gardener's Delight, and these ones are San Manzano there. I just need to go through them when I wash them, and all the ones with split skins I'll eat up first. A few strawberries still coming, but I think the strawberries are coming to an end now. These are the cobra beans from around the front. This is a little gem lettuce from the top of the back garden where the beans are growing next to the fence. I've got 3 courgettes, well 3 proper size courgettes I would say, and then 2 massive courgettes here. So the massive ones I'm going to cut up and put either on my compost or give to my chickens or put in the wormery. Raspberries again, the raspberries are kind of coming to an end. I've got my mixed green beans there, and then these are Blue Lake, so not a bad crop of beans this week. Another cauliflower from the bed. There's only one left now, and I'm not quite sure how good that will be. This is the Marvel of 4 Seasons scraggly looking lettuce. Got a few chili peppers here. They're a bit wrinkled because I think I left them on the plant a bit too long, but they'll be fine to eat. And then a load of beetroot. There's more there to pick, but I just picked those ones for the time being. We have eventually had a bit of rain, so I'm going to crack on with some weeding now. I'm just going to show you a few before and after shots of how this garden is looking now I've weeded it. I do have a slight confession. All the after shots of the weeding have been taken a week after the weeding was done because I was away for a week. and I never got it filmed before I went. So that was the weeding done in the back garden on the main beds, and now I want to get on with sorting through my strawberries. So I'll show you what's occurring with them. Here are the strawberries. Some of them are still producing, which is great, and some of them have got flowers on them, which is great as well. But some of them haven't produced anything for a while. So I have a runner here, and you can see at the bottom those 2 little spikes, or 3 little spikes. What I'm going to do is I'll put them into a pot with some compost, and roots will grow from those there, and I will essentially have a new strawberry plant. So what I'm going to do is get on and pot up a few of these runners from the various plants that have runners, and tidy away all the dead foliage, as it were, and give them all a feed and a water. Here are the plants all cleaned up. I've got, I think it's 9 runners in there. I mean 9 runners across these 2 pots, because they're the same variety, which is El Santa. Then I think I got 10 pots in total of these Sweetheart. But I wasn't very impressed actually with the number of strawberries we had of these this year. Then these are very old strawberry plants. I'm not even sure what variety they are. They're all different in these 3 tubs, but I've potted up 3 of each runner anyway, just to see. And then there's some mint that I've cut to harvest the mint that was there. And then these ones have still got loads of flowers on them and some strawberries there. And these ones are an F1, so I don't even know if they put out runners, as I haven't seen any runners off them so far. But they should last for another 2 years, I think, anyway. And I haven't potted up any runners from here yet either, because, well, they're still producing flowers, so I don't want any runners from them just yet. I only want runners when the flowers are done. And here is the small harvest of strawberries, and there's all the mint that I need to just strip the leaves and put in my dehydrator. So that is it from me for today. I've really enjoyed doing a bit of weeding around the garden that I did before I went to visit my family in Wales, and I'm glad I've got those strawberries done as well. It was a job I was sort of putting off a bit, but I'm glad I've done them now, because it's one of those things, once you start doing it, the job isn't as bad as you think it is. And if I'd left it until the spring, I wouldn't know where the runners were and where the original plants were. So I'm glad I've got that done, and hopefully when those roots grow, I can put the small pots into my greenhouse to grow in the greenhouse over the winter, and then they can go and hang in baskets next spring is the plan anyway. So that's it from me for today. Thank you so much for watching, liking, subscribing and commenting if you have done so. I really do appreciate it. And all I can say about the work today is lovely job, and take care everybody.